this is more of like counter picks, right? Like there's not much to steal from Boom. Lasso, I guess, would be nice, but the kit just doesn't work as tied up. Like this is just to prevent Boom from picking up a Rubik themselves and going for the steals and the Magnus, going for the steals and the Void. You can make this work. It's still okay as a lineup. Now you have the Beastmaster Roar to take, which is perfectly fine now for 032. Boom for their part. The Beastmaster's key to countering that Void. Chrono flies in. You have to ensure Beast is outside so you can get the Roar off. That is your only way of preventing an effective Chrono. A lot of pressure there on the Beastmaster. Just stay safe and get that positioning right.
Certainly so. Final banouts now. Have the Timbersaw and OD being removed, and now the Tide Hunter also being taken out by Boom Esports. I wonder, are they still lacking a mid laner here for Boom? Like, you probably aren't going to see the mid lane Earth Spirit this time around. I mean, you pointed out earlier, but Hyde does have a pretty good time on the Earth Spirit, and they might even just run the support Bat Rider as we saw last series. So it seems like we might just be lacking a mid lane hero for Boom Esports, and well, they should know they're up against the Mag mid. If I think I'm correct in saying that.
Yeah. It's a tricky one because you think about the support duo of Earth Spirit Bat Rider. That is really greedy, super easy to punish. I mean, the Bat Rider could play in the jungle, but then your other heroes could play in the jungle too. So you don't want to be occupying that spot as the pause 4 too much, especially since the Beast will want it a lot more. So a lot of factors there to consider for Boom Esports. They do have a fast pace. So if you do pick up a different mid and run the Earth Spirit Bat Rider supports, if you do just play fast and force your hand 032, they are constrained by RP. They are constrained by Chrono. The Blink and Echo Saber timing is one thing. They need fast from their Magnus as well. And it's not always a guarantee when you've got two hard farming cores like this. So Boom might be able to get away with a little bit of a greedier start here.
We're going to have a think about this one. From the previous matches we've seen Boom in, where they do go this CK route, it just gets to a point where Dreamer Soul's just farmed way too quick, and the game is just generally over at some point because he just pops Phantasm and hits people with Reality Rift, and well, they just get deleted. The only game that they dropped was the TNC on the first day so far, Boom Esports. Yes, on the second day, of course, getting a 2-0 victory over Neon. Boom. All right, they'll get the Undying now. And I wouldn't call this greedy at all. I'd say it's a pretty open kind of draft. Doesn't really need much to get going, and seems like they just want to really get to fighting and give Dreamer Soul all the space he wants.
Yeah, exactly it. You can maintain that fast pace with the Undying. You just need to hit maybe level 6 marks on your Bat Rider. It's going to be key. Earth Spirit, not so much. So just have the cores at 6. Undying at level 5 at the least when you start fighting is a good point. If you invest in Tombstone, in this case, going 1-1-3 is pretty good because you don't have ranged cores that can melt your Tombstone. Venge and Rubik don't want to focus on that, and you can position it well. You've got a lot of slows, a lot of control. Boom is just looking to play fast, and that's a signature of Boom Esports, right? Ever since years back, since we first casted them, they play non-stop Dota, and this is exactly that kind of lineup. It doesn't want to sit and farm. It wants to run and fight. And 032, it's the opposite. It's a Magnus Void, right? You maybe throw a Chrono here, an RP here, but you're going to be sitting back and farming. They get the Legion Commander as well, just to have that purge from, say, the Lasso, from the Roar, right? So you've got a way of countering that. You've got some decent wave clear as well with overwhelming odds in play. So there is a back and forth with the toolkits here. Going to be a fun time to watch that clash, yeah, and really maximizing the Magnets. Even the LC is going to have a good time with the Empower.
Yeah, I'd say so. Should be a very fun matchup between these two. I love the drafts, very explosive, and because there's a lot of big ultimates here to keep an eye out for. See if 032 can get back on track in this group stage and get some points going for themselves. But this is arguably one of the harder teams you're going to have to go up against. You know, them, TNC, and probably Among Us are the hardest teams you're looking at in the group stages right now. And well, 032, they've already had to go through Among Us yesterday. And today they have to go through Boom Esports, so see if they can put on a performance here and trying to get themselves a win. Of course, Boom, they are looking to be the favourites for sure here in this matchup, I'd say. But we'll check the odds in a second and see what Lupet has to say about it.
And I think one thing for Boom here that I have kind of a doubt about is how they itemize on Dream Missile this game. So we've seen a lot of CK. We've seen a lot of CK Midas. If you do go that route here, it might slow down that timing that you want to play because you do want to play fast. I'd say if you went Echo Saber or SNY or even Armlet, I think you've got a lot of a faster timing. You might give up your late game scaling, but honestly, this lineup does not want to go late. Like you're talking about RP, you're talking about Chrono at say the 15-minute mark. You have nothing in your kit that matches that. So I'd reckon this time Brumacell might want to itemize for the faster game, but we'll see. You know, a lot of times these cores have just opted for Midas CK just because they want to ramp up the EXP faster. Steady gain of gold gets you to a stronger mid-game snowball, kind of offsetting that slower start. We'll see how Dreamercell does with it. He's been playing pretty on point recently anyway, so I'm sure either route he goes for, it's going to go the way he wants in mind, as long as 032 doesn't put a dent on it.
The odds do come up, John. You do see Boom Esports are indeed the favourites in this one. Sitting at $1.35 in comparison to the 305 of 032. Say that's about accurate, but I wouldn't underestimate 032 in this matchup. I mean, they've been showing us some moments of brilliance throughout this group stage so far, and definitely not a team to be underestimated, especially if you can get some decent farm up on Natsumi. We know how fast these voids can snowball out of control.
Oh yeah, they really scale great into the late game as well. So Boom, if they don't find that early start, they might face some issues. There's just so much better team fight from 032 with RP, with Chrono. Both of these spells, you know, ignores BKBs, ignores all that spell immunity. Doesn't matter to it. That control will always be relevant, and in that sense, it scales a lot better. I mean, you do have Roar, but that's just FBC. That is literally it for late game scaling control. Like the CK is still nice late game, but again, Empower is already there to kind of deal with that.
Top lane, they are going to run into each other. But Bob really wants to get that banner in. Still hide, going to roll in onto Matthew, takes the bounty off, and now Matthew is going to be in massive, massive danger and is going to go down to Dreamercell of all people.
Ooh, no,
oh, that is not the start you wanted for 032.
No, that's going to accelerate Dreamercell's initial farm. I believe that's actually one Bracer already flying out to him. Yeah, a Bracer plus a Mango. So our CK going to be tankier in that lane. Going to have more mana to play with, and that's something you have to be really, really aware of. Kezcute is playing a very aggressively positioned Undying, and if he gets the stacks of Decay up, well, Dreamercel's damage and stun, it's going to rip right through these heroes.
It is. Talked about the itemization of Dreamercell. He's just got some braces and treads queued up for now, and we'll see if he does go into the Midas a little later on. It's based off how the lane goes for him. Of course, in that mid lane, you do have Nico and Makoto up against each other. This should be somewhat Makoto favored, considering you are a Bat Rider after all. You can just spam Sticky Napalm. Nico already has the Magic Stick ready to go just prior to even getting to the lane. That is, of course, the way you have to play it against the Bat Rider.
Yeah, I'd say it's not the toughest time for Magnus, although.
Yeah, Bok ends up losing his life, and even as DLC, you've got to respect the decay of Kezcute. He has stolen Egg Strength, and well, with the CK damage, it's not too hard to see him go down.
Yeah, especially if you roll max damage Chaos Bolt, then you're just stacking up a lot of nukes. So again, it's always a gamble when you play that CK, but when you get lucky, you win big. And that's something you just have to be careful about. Now, Boom is out of mana, so that will give Matthew and Bok a bit more room. You know, it's going to be important to bounce back in that LC. That mid lane, again, talking about the Magnus, he doesn't mind that lane. Like, he goes back in jungle, he farms up. you're giving Mikado a little bit more space in that sense, and Mikado can play the same way, but it's just important for these two cores to get that initial farm. In that sense, they're not going to slow each other down too hard. It's going to be down to the supports where, you know, you look at these supports down bot, it's Ninja Bogey on the Venge, you've got Hyde around there with FBZ to face off against Natsumi on that Void as well. And it's down to maybe Hyde getting some rotations out. He's not going to go to until later on. Maybe that first power rune is when you'd expect it. And in that sense, Boom does have more potency there. I mean, it's an Earth Spirit. He's the king of rotations. Got to be cautious about that timing at the 4-minute mark.
That you certainly do. Very, very dangerous kind of roaming hero. He does get a decent start for himself, and he's going to go for a bit of a pull, but no, he'll turn around for the roll now as Ninja Boogie trying to interrupt. They've got the balls there from the Beastmaster, but man, that is a lot of bashes out from Natsumi. In FBZ, he'll still be able to salve up and walk away. That was like a triple bash or something coming out from this Void.
Yeah, it's highly unfortunate because even the Thunderclap from the tomato creep just landing on FBZ, not a good time. He's forced to salve. He's down to 1 tango, and all of a sudden that lane is not as good as it would be for Boom. So just watch the spacing there. Those creeps can turn against you.
Yeah, that they can. Try to go for another pull and make it a little bit easier for FBZ. Boulder Smash not going to be enough for that large creep. Ninja Boogie will ensure that Natsumi is the one taking that farm. You're looking back to the mid lane. Makoto and Nico are very, very even in terms of CS at the moment. Of course, some of that CS on Nico is going to be some jungle creeps, and well, actually Matthew going to make a nice rotation in onto Makoto. There is a regen rune up that top lane that Makoto would love to have, but a great skewer back. No, the flame break. Makoto, he ends up getting the kill, and now is going to make a run for it. Oh, gets the salve off, and Nico, he had too many stacks of sticky napalm.
Yeah, brave play from Nico. Extremely good punishment from Boom. Mikado now suddenly on top. He's going to have a creep wave to soak through. He's going to have an EXP bounce back. He was slightly behind in levels, but now he's going to be ahead. He's going to hit the level 6 mark a bit earlier, and that's something Nico has to be careful about. Once the lasso's in play, Mikado is going to look for that rotation with his Earth Spirit and try to find a kill.
Hyde will be back to the bot lane. Doesn't really see an opening in that mid lane quite yet. Gonna just secure those 5-minute bounty runes first. It's a bit of an awkward position for Hyde because the bot lane you can't do anything with the Beastmaster, so you may as well just leave him be. He's gonna try and find somewhere to go. He's gonna just interrupt Nico here, who is just taking that medium camp. Hyde's gonna make it so he can't really go back to that and will be forced back into the lane. Luckily for him though, Makoto isn't even at the lane as he was in the jungle for a little bit, getting that bottle filled up by the bounty. He'll make his way back now.
Yeah, you've got the level 6s on these two mid cores. RP's ready to go for Nico. Lasso is ready to go for Mikado, so maybe some rotations out later, although down bot.
Yeah, Hyde gets down there. FBZ was initially in trouble, but does help set up a kill for FBZ. And even at the top lane, Kezq was able to secure a kill onto Bok. That's the second time Bok's done in this Legion Commander. Just not really dealing well with this Undying.
And that's going to be a massive issue. Dreamocell, he's having a fantastic lane. A bit better than you are seeing on Natsumi, and he's going to go for that Midas build as well.
That's a real shame for Matthew in that mid lane, Johnny. Ends up going down solo to Makoto, who does commit the lasso. But that's really one thing you don't want to do up against a mid player, right? You don't want to give him any more gold than they can get off the lane. And it's going to make Nico's life harder now because you just gave him even more gold.
Yeah, you're going to be very happy with that. He's got level 7 up as well. A slight EXP lead now for Mikado, and in fact, 0 to 6 on the max. 0-3-2, just not finding any trades for these heroes they're dropping. A 2k lead for Boom. They've set themselves up for a really nice start here.
In fact, they have. Boom's always been very good at this as well, just being able to be very, very dominant in this early game. But now Nico going to come top lane with an RP out. Kescute has the tombstone, but he's not going to bother wasting it, as Dream Missile is guaranteed to die. Nico, with the rotation on the mag, it is going to pay off.
Yeah, that's a important kill. Again, putting a dent on Dreamosalt's progression, as he has been left alone for too long. It's going to stall out the Midas just a tad. Boom. They are grouping a few heroes bot, but they are getting some TPs for the defense in that tier 1.
They are. Very hard to defend into that Beastmaster, especially when the siege creep is there. He has Raw, Natsumi, gotta be careful, gets the Chrono out, however. On to Makoto, they're trying to get this Bat Rider down, but Makoto's gonna go for a run, and it looks like he might just survive it as well. He is safe. They could not finish the kill off, and they could keep trying, but Makoto is just moving way too quick. He'll be right.
Yeah, it's a wasted Chrono, it's a wasted first Roar, but overall, Boom Esports is going to be a bit happier, as Chrono's cooldown is longer. They force the movement out, opening up some side lanes as well, giving themselves some time to just play farm. That's free time for Dreamosal to, of course, have a free time top, although they are invading that triangle. They don't really catch FBZ, and FBZ with the Necronomicons, well, he's not feeling too unsafe.
Well, Hyde, he's going to roll back in with a nice Silence Boulder Smash. FBZ still coming in with Makoto now. Have the Firefly active, just not using it yet. They decide better off the chase, because they don't really need to force anything right now. If you look at that top lane, Dreamosal is pushing in that tier 1 tower, and he is still farming very, very freely. In fact, he is going to go for the Midas once again on this Chaos Knight. And if this keeps up for Boom, there's just no need for them to get involved in any fights. This is what they want.
Yeah, it exactly is, and their CK is off to a good start. You are giving some time for 032 to farm up, but again, these are two very heavy farming cores. It's going to be a while until they're ready to go. You look at Nico's progression on the mag. He's still working towards his Echo Saber. After that, they have to look for the blink and look down bot. They're moving in.
Once again, on to Ninja Boogie. They drop the Tombstone just in case. In fact, Matthew's still going to show up. He's going to try and help LC get a duel off, but now he's in danger. Trying to take down the Tombstone. He will be able to get it. Can they lock down Hyde? He's going to roll the other way, try to juke them out. Kescute going back in on the Undying. Does get Matthew thanks to FBZ on the Beastmaster with those Necro units. And they are still just outrunning the side of 032. Even Hyde just juking out Box so we can't get a duel off. And then he's going to TP away. Oh, that is unfortunate.
They also lose every bounty rune to a massive gold injection coming out for Boom. The hesitation from Nico to throw the RP costed him. If he just commits the RP onto one, they could have at least traded a hero for a hero, and you'd be fine. It's not like you're actively looking for RP opportunities, but they play a bit cautiously. Boom punish well. They've got a 4K lead. They've got the travels up on Mikato. So this Bat Rider now can go across every lane, go for defenses, go for farming, no problems, and it's just smooth sailing for Boom. There's that Midas as well for Dreamosal. All done. He's just set to free farm in the jungle. No opposing wards. No nothing to stop that. 032, all they can do now is clump up top and try to go for a push.
Luckily for them, they do have RP and Chrono back up. They can take a team fight now in 032 if they so wish. Of course, they would be lacking quite a bit of damage between those RPs and Chrono, but looks like they aren't going to get that opportunity anyway. In fact, they may have to rotate mid soon, as Boom Esports are starting to posture around that mid lane. They want to try and set up for a very early tier 1 tower push. Kodo going to be on the front lines there. Happy to show himself, but the rest of Boom just waiting for their victim. Seems like 032 are well aware that they are waiting behind that tree line. Boom, do you want to fight this? Dreamercell kills off Ninja Boogie by himself. Now the roll in, but a big chrono out, catching two. They got the magnetize there as well. Matthew's gone down. Now the roar out from FBZ, holding down Natsumi. He is still alive, however, but it's not looking great for 032 as they just collapse mid, and that is going to be a full team wipe.
Oh boy, it was a good chrono, but there wasn't any follow-up. They couldn't get the RP off, and that tombstone positioning coming out here from Kezcute, just way far back. There was a massive horde on top, and they just couldn't handle it. It's a level 1 tombstone, but when those zombies pile up, it's just nearly impossible to run away, and 032 just getting punished. Boom, 1-13, 7K lead. They're looking fabulous in the first 15 minutes. It's still the 12-minute mark, and they're already really far ahead.
They are. 7K, in fact. This is why they love this this POS 1 CKs. Even with just the Treads Midas, he can get involved so early on. Gotta love this from Boom. These aggressive drafts that don't really take too much time to farm. They just go at you. It makes it very hard for heroes like the Faceless Void being played by Natsumi to actually get any farming.
Oh yeah.
Feels like there's no downtime sometimes.
No, there really isn't. And again, 032 are constrained by Chrono and RP. They need Nico to finish that Echo Saber and then go into the Blink. And then that relieves some pressure. You know, they don't need the Chrono. If you can land the RP, that's going to be Nico's job. The issue is you've got these two heroes in the jungle, and both of them are clearing out these camps fast. There's not enough camps to go around to sustain all of them, and boom, not many cooldowns to wait for. They're smoked up.
Back to it. The roar up. Blink Dagger now available on your Bat Rider to make matters even better for Boom Esports. And more Hawks flying out, getting vision onto Ninja Boogie, but it's not really the target they want to go for. They may just have to settle for it. Definitely want something a bit more valuable than the Venge. They may have just spotted out Natsumi with that observer ward being placed, and Natsumi is going to go back to farm now. But they have given up on the smoke. So instead, FBZ back down to the bot lane, and he'll start pressuring that tier 2 tower. And he might just try and force a fight here with 032.
Yeah, he gets to fortify. I think that's a nice little pickup for Boom. Opens up some push potential elsewhere. Not going to have to worry about it for a while. So, again, they just pull back. They've got the pacing here. They're clumped up.
Boom. Oh, Natsumi, he saw him. He went in with the Chrono. Tombstone was already placed in the Soul Rift, keeping FBZ alive. Now back in with the roll and the Magnetize. They are falling very low on 032, but at the least they do get FBZ. Dreamercell, however, coming back in onto Matthew, wanting to go after the Rubik. Natsumi, he does kill off Hyde on the side, but they are going to lose that Void and their Venge for that matter. And it looks like they just can't do anything to fight back now. They've just got Bok left with the mag. Nico's still holding on to that RP. Just ends up being another good trade for Boom.
Yeah, just spectacular positioning. Big chrono coming out from 032, but he was knocked out by that flame break. Like, that was just enough to throw off the timings there, the right-click damage, and it was an awkward chrono as well because there were some steps in between. So it's not like you could just go in and get the right clicks off once more. I have to say, Kezcute is highly effective in the Catch Ninja.
It's going to be a very easy kill, Makoto. So much damage on the Bat Rider right now. It's, Dreamercell even. Where's he finding kills? Just kills Bok solo with the Phantasm Illusions. And Boom aren't done. They're still going for more now. Just so many low cooldowns for them that they don't have to wait. Back into that mid lane. Natsumi gonna go after Kezcute, but the backup is coming in. Kezcute, he drops the Tombstone. Makoto looking for a lasso, but trying to juke out Nico. Does eventually get the lasso off. On your mag, he has the RP, but he's been silenced up, and they're not giving him a chance. He just can't get one off.
Oh, boy. It's messy now, 032. Nico just not able to find those openings, and boom. no cooldowns to worry about, no problems, constantly running at you. The tombstones of Cascute, perfect in breaking up these fights. This is just a spectacular game to watch from Boom. Execution's on point. I mean, Cascute, yeah, he just reminds you why Undying is such a beast. He's just positioning well, forcing 032 to focus down on the heroes, but always getting a swarm of zombies. And you're not big enough here on 032 to eat through those zombies. So it's been a tough time. 032, they really need that blink to come out for Nico. I mean, he's got the Echo Saber, but the blink's so far off.
Dreamcell just ripping Ninja Boogie apart. Hyde does get caught out and gets bashed to death. It'll be a 1-for-1. But it just goes to show the confidence right now in Boom. They don't feel afraid to just reality rift up that Venge and just one-hit it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always worthwhile getting the numbers advantage, and they smoke up again. Even if it's just 2 heroes, they're not afraid to smoke to look for opportunities.
We can actually avoid the big team fight for now. FBZ, he's going to join in, maybe go for the bit of a bait though. No, it is going to be Cascute. He'll pop the Flesh Golem. Down the Tombstone onto Matthew, but Matthew does take the Soul Rip, but Nico, a great RP out. Do they have the damage output to follow? No, they do not. Everyone else is being held back by FBZ. And they just can't capitalize. It's just complete domination out from Boom Esports. It's not even close.
No, it's definitely not. Boom Esports dominating the Pinoy boys. 032. This Indonesia versus Philippine war, Mike, it's not shaping up well for the Pinoys. 4-25, 14k lead. They finally get the RP, but there's no follow-up. There's no follow-up for Nico. They're split up too much. They can't even kill off Cascute. He's too tanky now on the Undying. And look, no cooldowns mean straight to high ground. There is a chrono. They're gonna have to play slightly safe. There's an opportunity for 032, perhaps, to come in if Natsumi is around. He does have a TP, so he can come back down, maybe get a nice chrono and set up for his team. It's tricky though. Like, Boom's already set to go back, and you look at their cooldowns, half a minute for Roar, about half a minute, oh well, not even half a minute, like 20 seconds for the Tombstone, full minute for the Lasso. They don't need to wait too long. They're just gonna go back and more than likely reset and look elsewhere. Perhaps that top tier 2 is the next objective on their mind. Maybe even the Roshan.
Oh, Boom. They're gonna go back. No need to force anything quite yet. Like, they might actually just start going towards that Roshan pit, but there is going to be a big smoke here from 032.
Bounty.
Phantasm illusions going to be left in the mid lane. They'll realize they are just illusions. A Ninja Boogie get caught out here by Makoto. Doesn't have the lasso available. Cascute, he'll jump in. Doesn't have the Flesh Golem either. Natsumi, not going to chrono yet. He's been rolled on, however. There's a big silence out with the Roar, and Natsumi is going to die before he can chrono. And now Dreamer Soul's going to have his way with them. Bok goes down. Nico trying to skew them back up. He doesn't have the RP either. He's going to go down. A triple kill out from Dreamer Cell. And the only person left is Matthew. And they're going to leave Makoto and Cascute to do that job while they start the Roshan. There goes Matthew, a full team wipe out. And the Rosh is borderline almost done.
I don't know why they forced that fight. Like, they lost their Venge, straight up Ninja Bogies. Smoke was broken by Cascute in the high ground. The Tombstone placement from Cascute up on that camp spot. No one can clear it out, and they fight under the Tombstone. Like, you do not do that against the Undying. If you see your support die with a Tombstone drop, you pull back. Fight elsewhere. Fight without the Tombstone, then you can win. But 032 being punished, and boom, 5 to 30, 20 minutes in, Mike. 20k lead. That's more than 1k per minute to build that lead up for Boom. They're just having a fantastic time as they've got a massive advantage. 032, they do have great team fight in the high ground. They're going to have to find the RP, find the chronos they want. They can easily get the damage out. They can easily kill a hero or two off. Well, easily. It's probably not Dreamercell with a heart.
No, not Dreamercell. He's got 4k HP now. He's probably not dying anytime soon. Go for the top tier 2 tower. Solar Crest's gonna make life even harder. Nobody just seems to die on Boom Esports. They might even try for this high ground now. There's not that much time left on these illusions. Get a bit of chip damage in. They'll expire. Boom, I mean, they'll just keep all lanes pushed in. When you control the map like this, there's no need to rush.
Yeah, it's just so open. And, you know, after all this time, FBZ, like you mentioned the Solar Crest, he just left his Necronomicon to one. He doesn't even need Necro Tree to get a push going, to help with the damage. Just that far ahead.
Boom want to fight again. Kodo almost daring them to come at him on this Bat Rider, but they don't. There's your BKB now available on Natsumi. The only thing lacking is probably his damage. Who has that Mask of Madness, but needs something more of a core item. Boom, also smoked up, still willing to take a big team fight. Rely on Makoto to try and start this one off, and he does also have a double damage on that Bat Rider right now. So, smokes break, Makoto does see Nico, will go for the lasso straight away with the tombstone dropped, and that is Nico just getting demolished on the low ground. It's a rush to try and force the buyback.
It's no tombstone though, it's in a pretty far spot this time for Kezcute, but without that RP, without the Empower, how are you just gonna find that defense here?
Hard to see it. Reality Rift in onto Matthew. He hasn't even popped the illusions yet on the CK. He's just waiting for the right moment. Now, Rift, Chrono in the back lines, but it's not really doing anything. FBZ's copying no damage. He'll just walk away. And now, well, in the base, Dreamercell, he's sorted them out. GG.
Ooh.
It was one last-ditch attempt, and oh, they can't even get the RP off the time. That's upsetting.
Yeah, 0-3-2, boom. The Indonesians coming out on top in dominant fashion, 0-3-2. They tried to go back to, you know, this Magnus special, the Magnus combinations with Natsumi. Doesn't work out. Nico could not find the openings. They took way too long to play this one. They had to farm heavily. And boom, their lineup just wants to run at you. Like, they just kept that pressure up. They didn't care, and Kezcute, man. He made that Undying look really good. Splitting up the fights with the Tombstone, 0-3-2 just had such a hard time getting their positioning right.
Well, let's see if 0-3-2 can bring it back in game number 2. It is MLP Dota and JohnXFire, and we are about 10 minutes away from that second draft beginning. We'll see you then.